It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Rescue Towing, Command Family Medicine, and John's Heating and Air. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. We made it to the end of the week, and temperatures are relatively nice this morning. We are starting the day in the mid-50s, but it's going to get hot later this afternoon. We noticed the effects of that warm up yesterday afternoon, and I think today is even warmer. High temperature of about 87 degrees in Springfield today. It gets even warmer than that, pushing the 90s on Saturday. And with temperatures this hot in October, we are talking about temperatures that are close to record highs. So there's a lot going on as we head into the region over the weekend. However, it's not going to come in any form of rainfall. It's a whole lot of sunshine and a bit of a heat wave for us in the Ozarks. It'll feel more like summertime. If the pool is still open, take advantage of it this weekend. This is pool weather. We have full sunshine, high temperatures in the 90s, near record high temperatures, numbers running at least 10 degrees above average for this time of the year. It's unusual. So if you have a way to cool off, go for it. It's going to be kind of hot for others that were planning on doing any outdoor activities. The weather setup shows that most of the activity today is down in the Gulf and much of the Southeast. A frontal boundary is draped across the country, and we are on the warm side of this thing. So we are likely going to still see the effects of a ridge of high pressure, meaning you don't have anything in the way of moisture coming our way. We keep the sunshine, and temperatures are allowed to warm up for us. Potential record heat today for the Springfield area. I think along Highway 65 and areas back to the west are going to be the warmest. We will see a northeast breeze kick in this afternoon in the relation to that cold front that I mentioned, but it's going to be a dry one, and we will likely see temperatures get even warmer in the forecast tomorrow. Near record high temperatures are expected. Record highs for this time of the year, by the way, well, they're in the low 90s for Saturday and Sunday, and we'll still see the low 90s and upper 80s over the next couple of days. So don't be surprised if we do tie or break high temperature records for the weekend. It does appear that at least next week, high temperatures will go back down closer to average. There is no measurable rain in the forecast, however, for the next 7 days. It is going to be a dry stretch, which is not good news for the drought conditions that are still ongoing in many places across the Ozarks. Not only are there very low rain chances in this week's forecast, but I see very minimal rain chances really for the first half of the month. October looking dry so far with above average temperatures, and I am expecting that we see dry conditions really persist for the first 2 weeks of October. As we look at the extended forecast into the weekend, just looks hot. You're not going to be dealing with any rain, but we do have an evening cold front that comes through on Sunday. So even though highs will be in the upper 80s and low 90s, both Saturday and Sunday, by Monday, we get a bit of relief with highs pushed back down into the 70s for parts as we head into Monday of next week. So it'll feel a little bit better next week. Not quite as oppressive, and low temperatures next week, by the way, will probably fall back into the 40s. So we have a couple of chilly mornings on the way. Kind of unbelievable that we're talking about 90s and 40s in the same weekend forecast, but here we are. It's going to be kind of a wild ride. After sunset, it gets much cooler, and then we heat things up in a hurry during the afternoon hours. Around the country, what's happening across the country? A strong storm is approaching Alaska, so our friends up north are preparing and bracing for that. We also have record heat, not just here in the Ozarks that's possible, but out west. I've been telling you about some of the heat advisories, the heat watches, and headlines happening out in Southern California. Portions of the desert Southwest still feeling the high heat. We're also still watching the tropics very closely. There is a storm in the Gulf creating rain and thunderstorm activity through Saturday for the Gulf Coast. And then there's a few named storms actually out over open water in the Atlantic. So National Hurricane Center is going to be watching those very closely over the weekend as well. All right, it's time for the Friday edition of the Wake Up Weather Brain Twister Trivia question. And the question today, what is the most common letter in the English language? And the options that I gave you were the letters A, E, I, or T. This always makes me think of the Wheel of Fortune, when they're going to end and they can choose the letters. I feel like these are always the most common letters that they pick first. But if you chose E, you are correct. E is the most common letter used in the English language. It appears in about 11% of all English words. It is so common because it appears in many words, including words like the, pronouns like he and she, and plurals that also end in ES. That ups its frequency. If you're wondering about the second most common letter, that would be the letter A, which is in 8.5% of all English words. And the least common letter is the letter Z. We probably could have guessed that, right? Yeah. But congrats. If E was your guess, that is the correct answer today. Here's the question that I'll leave you with. This is for Monday morning. What is Homer Simpson's middle name? Do you think it is J, Bob, Fred, or Carl? Let me know your guess. You can do that at aroundtheozarks.com. Thank you so much for listening to Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather this morning. I'm meteorologist Abby Dyer. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll catch you again early next